Bonjour, c'est Madame Yagi. I want to walk you through the imperative. This isn't super complicated, but it is a little bit tricky. So I want to make sure that you're kind of connecting the dots and getting everything before we get too far into this, because we are going to use the imperative a lot through the rest of this unit. So the imperative in English is called the command form. Command makes it seem fairly strong, like you're ordering somebody to do something, but it can be as simple as just giving directions or instructions. In French, the command form is used to do all these other things too, but we're really just going to focus on this top function, which is just giving somebody directions. If you think about your verb charts, with the 6 little boxes, the only ones you have to worry about with this one are 3 of them, and really for our purposes 2. We're not going to focus on the new because that's more of the making suggestions or requests. So that's not falling under the directions. So we're going to focus just on the to form and the vous form of the verb. So this works in English and French kind of the same way. If I'm giving you a direction in class and I want you to take out your paper, then I don't say, hey, you take out your paper. I just say, take out your paper. Grab a pencil. Conjugate this verb, right? None of those have subject. The subject is implied because I'm speaking directly to you. I don't need to state you. Context tells you that that's what I'm meaning. Same thing in French. You're going to conjugate the verb as if you were using a you, either tu or vous, and then you're going to drop the subject. Yeah, that's what I meant. Okay, I'm confusing myself. So again, we're going to kind of forget this new category and focus on the tu or the vous. And then I kind of recommend thinking of it in terms of with your subject and then dropping your subject to make sure you're solid on your conjugations. So really you just conjugate it the way we always have done. With the there's one exception. So with the to and the er verbs, if you remember the song, it's s o n s z n t s o n s z n t. The s on the to form drops when you're using the imperative. I don't know why. Somebody in history way back decided they were going to drop the s. That's the one thing you need to be careful about. All the others are going to follow the regular verb conjugations. IRs, you remember you drop the IR and you add ES, ES, ET, ESSONS, ESSOZ, ESSONT. And then RE verbs, you drop the RE and you add SS, nothing, ONS, OZONT, right? So these last 2 we're probably not familiar with. We haven't done those as often or as long. You might need to brush up on those a little bit. Remember that tu is a single person and it's somebody you know well. And vous is a formal person that you don't know well or a group of people. We're going to be focusing mostly on vous in this class because we're talking about giving directions and asking for directions. And if you go up to somebody on a street and ask for directions, they're not going to know you. They're a stranger. So they're going to use the formal form of the verb. Okay, so examples. If I want somebody to shut something, I would say ferme. There's no subject, I drop the S. If I'm telling the class to sing, I would say chanter, okay? And all it is, it can be as simple as just a one-word thing. Wait, attendez. Okay, parle français means speak French. I'm going to go through just a couple of examples to make sure this is making sense. So if I'm going to tell, like my son Mark, that he needs to eat his vegetables, I would conjugate it with a tu form because Mark is familiar, and then drop the tu. So I would drop the er, add the es, and then I actually drop the s because it's irregular. So it's mange des légumes, eat your vegetables. If I'm telling Bob Marley not to smoke his cigarette, he's a stranger to me, so I would use the ez form of the verb. And remember that negatives are going to be exactly the same. It doesn't matter that there's no subject, you still sandwich the verb. So ne fumez pas means don't smoke, etc., etc. Now, before I let you go, I want you to walk you through what we're going to do tomorrow just to make sure it's clear. I've given you some imperative commands as far as directions go. So there's going to be examples, and you're going to see that all of these are the vous form of the verb, the ez form, because we're talking to strangers, most likely, in a context like this. So These are directional things. These are going to be on your vocabulary sheet mostly. So aller tout droit is to go straight. Prenez la première rue à gauche is to take the first on the left. And then I've got little pictures here that describe tourner à gauche means to turn left, etc. Okay, we're going to go through all of those, blah, blah, blah. And then here's some examples of how you would do this. So where is the pharmacy? Tourner à gauche. So think, what does that mean? And you're kind of going to walk through, and it'll give you kind of the pictures to match the words to make sure you're understanding. Now here's your homework. You're going to ask how to get to this place. So in English, you would say, where is the church? And then you're going to give in the command form, the formal form, so using easy endings. You're going to say, oh, go straight till you get to the intersection. Then take the second left, keep going straight, and then cross the bridge. You're going to write this down with connecting words as well. So how do I get to the salon? Well, you're going to take your first left. Then you're going to keep going till you hit the traffic light. After that, continue till you get to the round point. And then the last thing you do is take a right. Okay, so you're going to that's going to be your assignment. I hope this helps kind of make things a little bit more understandable for imperative. If you have questions, I'm happy to help. Just give me a holler.